For 18 years, he's been the face of the Dodgers, the heartbeat of the rotation, and the standard of excellence in Major League Baseball. Clayton Kershaw will make his final regular season start of a Hall of Fame career Sunday in Seattle.
You are Locked On Dodgers, your daily Los Angeles Dodgers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
It's time for Locked On Dodgers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This special episode is dedicated to Clayton Kershaw. His last regular season start is coming up Sunday in Seattle, and we're going to hear from players and legends that Travis caught up with who both shared the field with him and admired him from the booth. This will be fun, Trav.
Yeah, it really is, because you get to hear some guys, like you said, that, have been teammates of his that have admired him from afar, and everybody holds Clayton Kershaw in a very special place. And I'm excited to do today's episode, which, of course, is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So download that FanDuel app today.
He's Travis Rodgers. I'm Harry Ruiz, two guys who talk sports for a living and bleed Dodger blue for life. You can get more Travis on 710 ESPN LA or the ESPN LA app from 3 to 6 p.m. with the Travis and DeMarco show. As for me, I'm the Spanish play-by-play broadcaster for the USC Football Trojans and the Las Vegas Raiders, but nothing beats jumping on the mic every weekday morning and today on a weekend and diving deep into what I love most, talking Dodger baseball with you. And we want you to be a part of our show. Hit us up on the Locked On Dodgers listener line, 279-3-LOCKED or 279-356-2533. Soon we'll be talking about our favorite Clayton Kershaw memories. So we want to hear from you. What is your favorite moment from Clayton Kershaw's historic 18-year career with the Boys in Blue? And you might be featured in our show. All right. Clayton Kershaw's impact isn't just about numbers and records. It's about the players who've shared the field with him and the moments that they'll never forget. Travis, you had the chance to sit down with Dalton Rushing, who caught Kershaw's final home start, and infielder Miguel Rojas, who, of course, played a crucial role in preserving that no-hitter back in 2014.
Yeah, it was funny, and you get a chance to hear it coming up here in just a bit. But hearing Miggy talk about making that play at third base that saved Clayton Kershaw, I had forgotten that Troy Tulowitzki was the hitter. You'll hear Miggy talk about that, and just kind of a stroll down memory lane about one of the great Dodgers of all time with some current Dodgers. It was a real treat.
Yeah, both had special reflections on what Kershaw has meant to them in this franchise. So let's listen to them.
Dalton Rushing, Dodger catcher. Dalton, take me through what it was like for you last night, knowing that I'm going to go out there, Dodger Stadium, Clayton Kershaw's final home start.
Yeah, it was pretty special, and obviously the atmosphere was pretty loud, pretty awake, I guess you could say, for his last regular season start. But I wouldn't say it was any different than the last few that I've caught from Kershaw. It was. He's a man that really believes in his routine, and so yesterday just felt like really another start. And there were no extra nerves, no extra excitement, I guess you could say, as far as it being his last one. I would say you could see a little bit of emotion on his face from time to time, but after 18 years of doing what he's done, I think he deserves to have as much emotion as possible.
It was kind of an interesting night, and kind of a perfect Kershaw night last night, because first guy of the night knocks one out of the ballpark. You're like, oh my gosh, here we go. And then he just Kershaw'd it. He just grinded it out after that.
Yeah, it was pretty special. It's one of those things, like, we go back and forth every time I catch him, and it's like we give up a run, we both look at each other, and it's like that's all they get. That's all they get.
Yeah.
And so last night we had one of those little encounterments. We get in the dugout, and he looks over at me, and he's like, hey, that's all they get. And I'm like, you're right. That's all they get. And so we kind of cruise from there and look good.
We're here with Dodger infielder Miguel Rojas at Legends Attic in Claremont. And Miguel, let's start with what happened last night. Obviously, Clayton Kershaw's final game. What was it like to be in the dugout, to be a teammate of his on at least the last regular season start we're going to see at Dodger Stadium?
Yeah, it was pretty special. Great night for baseball, not just for the Dodgers, but baseball overall. I think all the eyes were at Dodger Stadium watching Clayton. Got the opportunity to give him the chance to kind of go out there and say kind of his last goodbye to the fans, because that's something that he built. He built something that is gonna live forever in LA, in baseball, and I feel like he kind of deserves that opportunity to kind of go out there and finish what he started. Long time ago, 18 years. You sum it up and you see a guy that you gotta be lucky to have a guy like him in the front of your rotation, and not just on the rotation, but having in the clubhouse every single day. That's what I kind of like take from this. Like the opportunity to have 4 years. Coming into the clubhouse, knowing the way that he prepares, the way that he approach every single day, I think is so important for the organization, for the young players, veteran players, free agents who just signed. They know the importance of caring every single day, and I'm happy for him, and it was a special night.
What was the decision to let him go out to the mound by himself?
It kind of happened right before we jump on the field. Like we always wait for his sign. He always acknowledged his family, and then he always signed to us to let us know that he's ready to go. And then we talk about, like, I'm on us over there, and we say we shouldn't let him go first. I know he don't want to, because he don't like that kind of attention,
Sure.
And he wants everything to go smooth, and he don't want to make it weird. But at the same time, he kind of deserves to go out there, and I mean, it's the last time in Dodger Stadium in a regular season. I know he's going to have more innings to pitch in this month to go, but that was a decision between our group right there.
So you mentioned he's kind of obviously a tone setter. He's going to start the clock 5 years from now. He's walking into the Hall of Fame. That goes without saying. And you got a lot of guys on your team like that. That's the same as Shohei. That's Freddie. That's Mookie. That's all those guys. But is Clayton in even a different class than anyone else just because he's been in LA as long as he has?
Definitely. I feel like Clayton, for me, is the best pitcher in our generation. Respect to a lot of the guys who pitch in this generation, like Justin Verlander still doing it, Max Scherzer still doing it, Zach Greinke did it for a long time. And I know there's a lot of guys in that conversation, but I feel like what Clayton did, not just for the Dodgers or for LA, but in baseball, he was the face of baseball for a long time. He wasn't just the best pitcher in 1 year; he was the best player in the league for a couple years. And I feel like all the resume and everything that he did for the game of baseball, it kind of put him in a different category. Going into the Hall of Fame, I think that's a no doubter.
Sure.
But I feel like he deserves to be kind of like calling the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
While he did it, the best left-handed pitcher for sure that I play behind, and I mean, it was a special facing him, and every time I take the field and he was pitching.
Let's talk about you a little bit. You had a pretty good night last night. A special night, 53,000 people in Dodger Stadium, and Clayton gives up the home run to lead off the game. It's kind of like, okay, let's see what happens next, and you come up not too long after and you pop one. That had to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it felt good because another memory that I'm gonna take with me and for my family and my kids and all that. My first ever start in the big leagues, it was with Clayton on the mound. I got the opportunity to get my first hit in that game, first RBI. We won the game in Colorado, and then obviously the no-hitter.
Sure.
I was playing third base.
Yeah.
I got a 3-run double in that game to help him win the game. And then last night,
Hey, there's something good happening to Clayton. Something's good about to happen to you.
man, it's amazing. It's amazing how you raise your level of intensity and the focus. And I'm not saying that every day should be like that, but when a guy like Clayton is on the mound, you're always trying to kind of like do your best. And with that being said, you're always trying to help. Any way you can, and you can feel it on everybody around the field. Like, the at bats are better, the defense is better. It's because you got the respect for him that you kind of want to go out there and give everything you have for that day.
So you mentioned it. You made a play in 2014 when you were playing third base. It was the night that Clayton Kershaw ultimately throws a no-hitter. It's in the 7th inning. You got a backhanded ball up the line at third base. Beautiful stop. You let the ball go. It's low. Adrian Gonzalez is playing first base, makes a nice little backhanded dig. When you let that ball go, what's going through your head?
Yeah, I was trying to throw it as hard as I can because I remember who hit the ball was like prime throw to Ruiz.
Yeah.
He could really like run and move, and I feel like all I needed to do was like trying to get it out, like in the area of first base, because I got 100% trust that Adrian was gonna pick the ball. One of the best gloves that ever played the game.
Made it look
at first
easy.
base. Yeah, he was just like chilling, just picking that, and I feel like, I mean, I did what I supposed to do.
Sure.
Make the stop, make the long throw, and then whatever happens after happens. But I feel like it was a good moment on the game. It turns a little bit of the engine there for Clayton, knowing that after you gotta play like that late in the game, you kind of feel like you got it, you know. And a pretty special moment. I feel like it's gonna be all-time top 3 in my career.
Hearing those stories, you can really feel the respect that guys across different generations for this Dodgers team have for Kershaw. For Dalton, it was about realizing he got to be a part of history. And for Miguel, it was about cementing one of Kershaw's greatest moments, Trav.
Yeah, I mean, just the two ends of the spectrum, right? Somebody that'd been around him for a while in Miguel Rojas, somebody who was there at the very beginning when he was a rookie, and now, of course, it's come full circle again. And Dalton rushing in his first season, catching Clayton Kershaw's final home start at Dodger Stadium. It just the timing of it all worked out amazingly well. Miggy hitting that home run, everything else, just a really fun day.
Now, coming up on Locked On Dodgers, we'll hear from a Dodger legend. Speaking about another Dodger legend, Travis Rodgers caught up with Orel Hershiser, who shared his perspective on Kershaw's final Dodger Stadium start and the reaction from fans. Guys, you've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. Maybe you've even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Ruiz Go Long. This isn't just another ED pill. It's a total game changer for confidence. The effects can last up to 36 hours. That's confidence all day, all night, and even into the next day. The process is simple. Connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online. And if prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly right to your door. Ready to level up your confidence in the bedroom? Head to RUGIET.com and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for 15% off your first order. That's RUGIET.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Make sure to use our code, that way you get your discount, and also, that way they know that we sent you. Thanks for making us your first listen wherever you may be tuning in, either on your favorite podcast app or our YouTube channel. Smash that notification bell so you never miss a beat. Full episodes, hot takes, breaking Dodgers news, and the Dodgers Postcast show with Pete Fox live after the final out of every game. If it drops, you're on it. That's how you become an everydayer here on Locked On Dodgers. All right. Orel Hershiser knows what it's like to carry the weight of Dodgers history on his shoulders. He also knows what it's like to hear the roar at Chavez Ravine in appreciation of greatness. Travis, you talked with the Bulldog about Kershaw's final home start. Man, what a special moment.
Yeah, it was a real good conversation, I thought, because, Orel can speak to this on a level that not a lot of people can. Orel himself is a legend of Dodger baseball. Orel has had the highest highs that you can have in this sport in Dodger Stadium, Cy Young Awards, World Series, NLCSs, just an incredible, athlete and competitor in his own right. And to get that perspective on another all-time Dodger great was a real treat.
Absolutely. And here's that conversation that Travis had with Orel regarding Clayton Kershaw.
What did you think of it? I mean, it just felt incredibly Clayton Kershaw-like. Everybody's pulling on the same end of the rope. He gives up the home run to the first guy, and then he just grinds it out the rest of the way.
I mean, for me, that was like the middle of the story for me, because it all started, 45 minutes before the game. He comes out at his 25 moment, and he's out there doing his stretching. He's getting an ovation. He starts to do his jogging. He starts to do his stretching. He starts to warm up, and they're playing tribute videos. And so I'm like semi-crying by the time we get to the national anthem.
Sure.
And it was Joe Davis's bobblehead night, so I got to be up in a suite, the Davis suite, with all their friends, and they had brought like little Blake, one of the middle child other than Charlotte, and then there's Theo, but they had all the Little League kids.
Oh, wow.
So you're getting to watch these Little League kids like 4 years old up to 12 years old. You're getting to watch the parents. The parents are looking at me. The parents are looking at Kershaw. The parents are visiting with the Davises. But you got all the kids taking in this baseball history on Clayton Kershaw. And then the home run.
Yeah.
Like you said. And it's like the very first hitter. And the very first pitch, he hit foul for a home run.
Yeah, he smoked it.
Really? And so, yeah, it was kind of a nothing slider in the middle of the plate, and it was low, and it was right in his swing, and there it goes. But it was typical Clayton. It was Clayton for the last 18 years to battle back, to give his team a chance to win. And what do? They come back and they win.
You and I were talking on the show the other day about, the Mount Rushmore of Dodger players, Dodger pitchers, and
right.
You can make it as big as we want. You can make it but he's on it. Like there's just no, you're on it. Fernando's on it. Koufax is on it. Drysdale's on it. Like it's a long list.
If it was a mountain and you had like the base level and then you get all the way up to the
were
peak,
you like
I'm
plateau level?
I'm in the foundation for the second story.
Okay, I might give you the second story.
But we could even go with at Legends Attic today we had Ramon Martinez.
Yeah.
Ramon would be in there.
18 strikeouts get you on it.
And Fernando starts to get you to the peak, and Jackie Robinson is near the top or the top, and Vin Scully's up there, and Clayton is right up there in the pinnacle. And so maybe it's more like John Wooden's pyramid,
there you go,
of
pyramid
success,
of success. Yeah, why not?
Than it is the Mount Rushmore.
So coming into this year, we knew he was close to 3,000 strikeouts. But the Dodger rotation at the beginning of the year loaded with all this talent. Now, the way it shook out, guys missed some time and all this, but did you think 10-2 with an ERA of 3.5 at this point in his career was a possibility?
Being close enough to Kersh to know what the stuff was, to know where the health was, I don't think he was even expecting this. He was so glad to be healthy. He was so glad there was no arm issue. They were so glad there was no lower body issue. And he's like, okay, I'm completely healthy and I'm throwing the ball and I go to throw it the way I should and nothing's coming out. so even he was not expecting what he did.
Yeah.
But he showed the guile and the poise and the wisdom and the ability to repeat that delivery, that even though nothing was coming out, he was repeating the delivery and hitting his spots and understood how to read swings, how to read situations, how to read what a hitter's trying to do, read himself, and how to apply himself, even though it was less of himself than he's ever had, how to apply himself to the situation and still get outs. And it wasn't about strikeouts, even though we got to 3,000. It was about weak contact.
Yeah.
And, he mastered it again.
I said this on the radio show the other day, and maybe I'm just being optimistic. Maybe I'm being, I'm showing my age a little bit, but it shows that you can get guys out without throwing 100 miles an hour. It shows that you can win games without throwing 100 miles an hour. It shows that you can eat up innings without throwing 100 miles an hour. Is there any chance it's like, hey, look, there's another way to do this?
I hope part of his legacy is pitching with nothing and getting people out.
Yeah.
I think that he could be another impetus to having the pendulum swing back towards pitching. Mm-hmm. I think we have swung so far towards throwing and stuff and spin rate and attacking a hitter's weakness with what can you do to get to that weakness compared to how do I develop a strength, how do I develop my priority list of what this pitch should be. And if the priority list is always best spin rate and best velocity, or best spin rate and best change of velocity or change of something, I think you're missing the quotient or the part of the equation, which is movement, change of velocity, and last would be velocity. There's a few things that happen to a ball when it leaves your hand, right? It's the velocity of it, there's the movement of it, there's the location of it, and each one of those takes a certain amount of effort, and at a certain level of effort to enhance those categories, you sacrifice the other categories.
And
it's got to come together.
That's the other part.
That's the maybe we were St. Bernards and these guys are Greyhounds.
Yeah, maybe.
And you run a Greyhound 100%, 110 races, and you got to keep going out there, especially the bullpen guys.
Yeah.
It's really hard because you are not throwing the ball every day completely healthy.
No.
You're throwing it with aches and pains. You're throwing it with a muscle that's starting to shut down. You're throwing it with asymptomatic shoulder, symptomatic elbow.
Yeah. Well, I remember pitching in college and high school, certainly not pitching in the big leagues like you guys, but I was told in college, sometimes you got to pitch when your arm hurts.
Right.
And it's just, hey, if you get a day where it doesn't hurt, that's a good day, but you're going to pitch days with your arm.
You got to know the difference between injury and just pain.
Yeah.
They call it the IL now. In our day, it was the DL. But as far as who's hurt, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
But who's on the DL/IL?
Yeah.
As few people as possible.
That was really special insight from Orel Hershiser, someone who's walked that same path and understands how rare and cherished these moments are. He's lived it and he sees it. He sees how in Kershaw, the same kind of legacy rolls on that Dodgers fans will be talking about for generations, Travis.
Yeah, it's gotta feel kind of, I don't know if weird's the right word, but special perhaps to be in Orel's shoes and see it happening again. Another legend of this team. And Clayton Kershaw is on a plane that very few people have ever been on. But if anybody can explain what it's like and what we're seeing, it's Orel Hershiser.
Yeah, now let's hope with the chance of Kershaw being out of the bullpen, he might have the opportunity to clinch a World Series just like Hershiser did in '88. How special would that be, man?
What an incredible ending to an incredible career. I guess, you think about Orel in Oakland back in 1988 when he got that last out and he drops to a knee, and here comes Rick Dempsey running out there with his hands in the air. And imagine that's Orel Hershiser and Ben Rortvedt or Will Smith or Dalton Rushing or whoever it is. That would be a heck of a way to finish it off.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully we're speaking it into existence. Well, next on Locked On Dodgers, we turn the page to Sunday in Seattle. Clayton Kershaw's last regular season start in what is unquestionably a Hall of Fame career, what it means, why it's bittersweet, and why it's going to hit hard for Dodgers fans like us everywhere.
The NFL season is here. We are off and running in the NFL season, and FanDuel is making sure that you're ready for each and every kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Because right now, if you're a new customer to FanDuel, good news for you, because you can bet just $5. And if that $5 bet wins, here's what you get. You get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. And there are a million different ways to use it on the app. That's what makes FanDuel so much fun. It fits however you like to bet. If you like player props, FanDuel is the place to be. If you like building same-game parlays, FanDuel, yeah, right. Still the place to be. Jumping in live as the action unfolds, in-game live betting. Yep, FanDuel. Every game gets more exciting, whether you're watching your own team, keeping an eye on your fantasy team, or however you like to watch your football. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the best way to add that little something extra to Sunday. So, are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet.
Don't forget to follow Locked On Dodgers not only on YouTube, but on X, Instagram, and TikTok as well. You can find Travis on social media at Travis Rodgers on X and Instagram. Meanwhile, I'm at Harry Ruiz on X, at Harry_Ruiz on Instagram, and at Harry Ruiz_ on TikTok. And now it all comes down to this. Sunday in Seattle, Clayton Kershaw is set to make his final regular season start. And while that sentence alone doesn't feel real yet, it's where we are. I mean, the Dodgers had him available out of the bullpen on Tuesday and didn't use him. They let a 4-run lead slip away that day. But then Wednesday night, Kershaw finally got the call in the 9th inning, and he was perfect. 3 batters up, 3 batters down. Vintage Kershaw. It was short. It was simple. It was sweet. It was unforgettable. Now we get to see him in the role that we saw him for 18 years. As a starter, Travis, one last time.
Yeah, it's bittersweet, to be sure. It's a little strange that the final start of Clayton Kershaw, at least regular season start of Clayton Kershaw's career, is coming in Seattle, a team that you don't really think of first when you think of classic Dodger opponents. Had it been the Giants or the Padres or something like that, it might have been a little bit like the scene setting might have been a little bit different, but it's still an incredible accomplishment that he's finishing, his final season in the major leagues, and not as a ceremonial guy. This is not where he's going to come out and wave his hat and, hey, thanks for the memories, and go out there and pitch an inning and then, shuffle off into the dugout. He's getting ready to go pitch against some of the best players in the world. He's getting ready to go pitch against playoff teams. He's got to go. I'm assuming he'll get to face Cal Raleigh in this game, who's a 60 home run guy. That doesn't happen very often. And we know the matchup with the big dumper that he had in the All-Star game. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in there. But I think one of the things that for me, Harry, that's really interesting is this is prep for the postseason. This isn't just, hey, Clayton Kershaw's final start. This is, hey, let's stay sharp. Let's get ready. Let's make sure that he's, and I think you're going to see him probably for a fairly limited amount of time, because God only knows how quickly they're going to have to turn him around and bring him out of the pen. I'd be really surprised if he went deep into that game. Because there's still a lot of work to do, which I think is the perfect way to send Clayton Kershaw off. Competitive environment, good team, great matchup with Raleigh, and then, of course, get ready for what Clayton Kershaw, I'm sure, prioritizes more than anything, which is another run to the World Series.
Yeah, think about it this way. It's the National League West champions versus the American League West champions. You got two divisional champs in there who are going to be on a Sunday afternoon. It's an early game. I don't know if they're going to go out with everybody that's going to be playing, because you talk about both the Mariners, they can still fight for that 2 seed. The Dodgers can't. So, but at the same time, it's like, it's Kershaw's last start. You want to be able to go out there and win this game. And what he's given to this franchise, 3 Cy Young awards, an MVP, a no-hitter, 2 World Series championships, the lowest ERA of his generation for nearly 2 decades. When you thought Dodgers baseball, you thought Clayton Kershaw, and the right thing to do is send him off with a win.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll break down everything that he did on his final start, getting on Monday on Locked On Dodgers as we get ready for the Tuesday opener in the wild card round, and how many pitches did he throw and what did it look like and how was he effective. But I know how I'm going to approach this. I'm going to try to soak it in as best I can. I'm going to try to take it in as a fan first, and as somebody that watches this game critically second, and just really deeply appreciate the career of Clayton Kershaw, because look, I'd love to be wrong about this, but I'm almost certain that I'm not. You're never seeing this again, ever. We're going to see great players. You're going to see guys that do amazing things. We'll see another no-hitter. Maybe if we're lucky enough, we'll see another perfect game at some point, but you're not seeing a dude like this come through here. Koufax was in the 50s and 60s, and here we are in the mid 2020s. It took 60 years to get another one. I got bad news. I'm not making it 60 more years. It's not happening. So enjoy it while you can, because you're not going to get to see it again.
Yeah, I remember back in 2017 when we were all like, hey, Walker Buehler might be the next Clayton Kershaw. And now he's on his, third team in the last year?
And arm troubles. And Walker Buehler's a great Dodger. I'm not throwing any shade at all. But,
absolutely.
But ups and downs. Kershaw didn't have any ups, and Kershaw had all ups. There were some postseason hiccups, to be sure, but this was not that season. Like we talked about this when he made the announcement. This is his 18th season in the big leagues. Keep this in mind. 18 seasons in the big leagues. He's had 1 year that was something other than brilliant. He had 1 year that was kind of and it wasn't that bad. It was just relative to who he is. It was kind of and that was last year, and he only threw 30 innings. So 17 out of his 18 seasons, he's been Clayton Kershaw, and what a treat.
And the only downs, and I'm using like air quotes right now for those who aren't watching us, were injury related. Were seasons where he wasn't able to be out there the whole year because of injury. So when Clayton Kershaw steps off that mound in Seattle, it's going to hit hard for the players, for the fans, and for baseball itself. It's going to be the end of an era, because we don't know if we're going to ever see him start a game anymore. It might just be a postseason role where he's the relief pitcher. So every pitch will feel heavier and heavier. Every out will matter more. And when it's over, we'll all know that we witnessed the final regular season start from a Dodger all-timer, a generational talent, and a baseball legend, Clayton Edward Kershaw. Forever a Dodger, forever a legend. I take my hat off for you, man. It's been an honor to be able to watch him. And Travis, you and I both work in the NFL. I'm going to have my iPad right next to myself in the booth the whole way. Like, all right, I need to watch this.
Look, I will be in the press box at SoFi Stadium covering the Rams and the Indianapolis Colts. But let's just say that my attention might be elsewhere, because the only good thing about a retirement like this is that it does make you appreciate it more. It does allow you to have that moment to kind of reflect on what it is that you've gotten to see. And I can't wait to see it. I'm sorry that it's happening, but this is the way it's supposed to happen. Go out on top, go out competitive, go out with class and dignity like he's been able to do. And, like you said, hats off to him, because he couldn't have done it much better.
And well, man, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's happening, but that's going to go down on Sunday. Well, that's going to do it for this special edition of Locked On Dodgers. Sunday in Seattle will mark the final regular season start for Kershaw. And whether you're watching from home, traveling to T-Mobile Park, or just following along pitch by pitch, soak it all in. We'll never see a Dodger quite like him. Thanks for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen. We'll be back on Monday with a full reaction to Clayton Kershaw's final start, plus everything you need as the Dodgers get ready for the postseason. Travis, October is almost here. We're going to be talking postseason baseball even before October, so we're ready.
Let's go. Let's go. This is what we've been waiting for.
So much. We appreciate you riding with us. Until next time, keep it real. Keep it Dodger Blue.